Hello, beautiful, vibrant souls. I'm so glad that we could come together today. There's our three cards right there. We got a new fashion accessory, and I'm not allowed to shuffle. So, this is how things are going. Ooh, I like these. I like this. We did get this Ten of Swords yesterday. We've got this Two of Pentacles, though, which I love that. And we've got the Lover's card, which is really fun. Okay. Let's see. We're letting go of some things that weren't gonna pan out, and it feels like in the past we would have dealt with this a lot worse. But we're getting a lot more comfortable with releasing the things that aren't meant for us. So while there could have been some disappointment, you kind of put the brakes on that as quickly as possible, and you're getting really good at that. I like Spirit's just saying like, yeah, but you're learning and you're growing and you're healing and you're understanding how the universe works. It's not meant to make you crash out and be depressed and say nothing ever works out for me and have a temper tantrum and give up on the things that you want. It's to say close but not that one. You're almost there, but this one's not for you. This isn't quite a perfect fit. It'd be like forcing on, the glass slipper only to end up, you know, with all kinds of blisters all over your feet. Why would you want that? Wouldn't you just rather wait until you find the pair that fits your feet? Like that's what this is about. It's that perfect fit. And you've gotten to this point where you're like, "Oh, yeah, this doesn't make sense anymore." Or, yeah, I can see why that wouldn't be like the best for me. Rather than crashing out, you're accepting and releasing. So this is a really, really good feeling card this time, because usually this card comes up and it's like, hey, or why are you like making this into a pity party? Why are you feeling so bad about something that's like not for you? It didn't work out. It's not going the way you wanted to. Well, what are you going to do about it? That's the real issue. That's the real question, is what are you going to do about it? What's the next step? How do you feel about it? Because if you change how you feel about it, if you instead go, well, thanks for not forcing me into that situation that doesn't fit, universe. I'm so glad for that. I appreciate you averting these unnecessary lessons. I didn't need to learn that lesson again, apparently. That wasn't for me, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, because that actually is a good thing. I appreciate the lack of stress in my life. You've changed how you view things. You're getting so much better at that. So that's why this card comes up now. Now, 2 days in a row, we got the Ace of Pentacles. Now we've got the Two of Pentacles. This is the transformation. This is where things really get fun. Okay, because that Ace of Pentacles was like planting the seed, kind of getting everything ready, real great opportunities. This is where the opportunities start flowing. Now, there's a lot of change involved with this. You had to, number one, you had to transform how you view things and how you deal with things. So you've had to learn to accept and release. You've had to learn to balance your emotions. You've been really, really good at staying focused on the things that you can control and staying in movement and in progressive motion. And that's what this card represents. This card's like, yeah, now, next step. There's going to be some stuff popping up for you. You're going to have to make some choices. Every time we get a two, there's some choices involved in here. You might have to say yes to moving. You might have to say yes to that new job or that promotion. You might even have a few options in your dating field. I'm getting, for some of you, this definitely has to do with you breaking some cycles. And all of a sudden, you kind of feel a lot more open and accepting and welcoming to new connections. And now there's going to be some choices ahead of you. Now, we also have this Lover's card. So this Lover's card is about that perfect equilibrium and balance. It's the complement. We're not looking for something that's going to throw us off course. What we're looking for is something that matches where we are right now. Not in the exact same way, but something that balances, that keeps us on track, that complements the way that we're living. So for example, one of the things that I was talking about yesterday is how I had spent a tremendous amount of the first part of my life feeling responsible for everyone else's feelings. So I was taking care of people all the time. I was doing for them, doing for them, doing for them, doing for them, people pleasing, always neglecting my own personal needs, wants, and desires, always. It drove me kind of into the other side of things where it became a hyper independence, where all of a sudden now it's like, no, it's just for me and I can only do it myself. I didn't want to accept anybody else doing anything for me. I wasn't at that place yet. I kind of needed to experience the other side of it to really understand how much people pleasing I was doing. So I was a little selfish for a while, but not in the way where I was neglecting other people, but in the way where I wasn't allowing anyone to do anything for me or be there for me in the ways that I really did deserve and need that to happen. And just yesterday, I was like, it is my turn. Like, I want to be in a relationship and I'm ready to be in a relationship now where somebody offers to do nice things for me, where they want to see me smile, where they take my car and get the tires rotated for me. I want flowers to show up. If that had happened to me in the past, I would have felt like it was a superficial display of affection. But today I'm like, no, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for people to make my life easier. Not that they're not going to get it reciprocated, but that I wasn't in a place where I could accept it before. So the Lover's card is the complement to where you are now. Now I'm getting from Spirit that some of you are in the opposite state. Some of you were in this receptive mode, but weren't really in a place um, to give in the same way. Like you were very much withholding affection, withholding commitment. You were kind of running scared from these connections. So it kind of, it depends on where you are right now, and everybody's going to be in a different place. We're all experiencing life from varying perspectives. All of your past, it has accumulated up until this point, and so it depends on where you are today. But the Lover's card, especially with this combination, says you broke that cycle by being okay with how things transpire. You don't need to hold on to things that aren't for you anymore. You're not going to go chasing. You don't need to do any chasing, because you know that when things are right, they show up for you. And not just one thing. Sometimes you get multiple options and you get to decide what's best for you. And that feels really good. Now you get to really use what you've learned and feel what feels the best. This Lover's card comes in to show you that you get to experience a connection, a networking, a communication. There's some kind of mutual expression that is balanced and it feels really good. Now, if you make a choice and you start to feel like it's off balance, you just pull away. You just pull away. You go, it's not for me. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose out on an opportunity. It may just be a test. It may be the universe saying, I just wanted to make sure you were still on track. Just wanted to make sure you were really about that, because now we're going to really show you. But this shows that you're open, your heart is open, and you're accepting, and you've become very aware of what it is that you need and where you are in life. And now you're going to really, really get to experience the good stuff. You see me struggling with these cards. I'm not allowed to shuffle. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I do a majority of the shuffling before the reading. All right. So nothing is wasted. And the Seas of Mintaka, which is seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. We're becoming very much in tune with the way that the universe flows and how it teaches us lessons, how it gives us the opportunity to experience things just so we can stop thinking about it and obsessing about it. Sometimes we experience like destiny swaps where you kind of obsess about what somebody else is experiencing. If you think it's unfair, you think that they're lucky, or you think that something like that is, um, I wish that was my life. All of a sudden, you'll find yourself in alignment with the things that they themselves experience, only to find out that that wasn't actually what you wanted. It wasn't an alignment for you. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't for a great purpose. There was something there for you. So this nothing is wasted. What it wants to highlight for you is, even if you were headed down one road and then you went, "Oh, I'm going the wrong way." You don't keep flooring it down that road, right? That doesn't make sense. Instead, you pause for a moment and you reflect and you figure out, where was it I was going? Where did I want to go again? Huh. Oh. Oh, that's right. Okay, well, how do I get back there? What's the best way for me to get there? And you can't just go directly back to that path. There's a process. You're using your navigation system. You're going to find the safest route, the route that's going to be the most efficient. But as long as you get back there, it's fine. That doesn't mean that the you taking that side road and heading in that wrong direction was pointless. It wasn't a waste of time. In fact, what you're going to find is that you actually gain some really great insight and perspective from that. You're going to be able to now look at other people's situations with a much more open mind. Oh, maybe I don't want that. That doesn't actually align with what I want, but I'm glad for them. Or wow, that must be tough for them. I really wouldn't want to experience that. So you don't look at things and you go, "Oh, they should stop whining," or, "Oh, I wish I was so lucky." It's going to really change your perspective, and you go, "That's their journey. This one's mine." So it wasn't wasted at all. As a matter of fact, you saw some beautiful scenery along the way. You met some friends. You had some great experiences that kind of add to your arsenal of skills and abilities, and it's even further made you confident and comfortable in who you are and what it is that you do want and why you're here. Because you realized without a doubt, this isn't my path. Not this one. Nope. This is not the one. This is not the person for me. This is not the job for me. I have had conversations with people where they said, I was 2 semesters into college and realized that I hated all these subjects that I was learning for a job career that I thought I would really enjoy, only to find out that it really wasn't my cup of tea. Better to find out now than get all the way through it, right? But they learned some really valuable stuff in those classes, and they learned a lot about themselves. So there was no wasted part of that. It was all a part of their journey. The potential is in when you really start to hone in. Now, all that extra thinking and all that distraction and those diversions, they're not there anymore. Your path is a lot more clear now. So, things that you weren't aware of before, and maybe patterns that you hadn't noticed before, or maybe the tendency to think too much about what other things were happening around you or what was going on in somebody else's life, took away from your own, you're now very aware of that. That is really a great advantage to you. That's going to save you a lot of time and stress going forward. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's a beautiful thing as well. It's another thing to be grateful for. Sometimes gratitude is just a matter of shifting our perspective. It's not that things are happening to you. They're happening for you so that you can look at things differently, so that you can have a wider perspective, so that you can become more in tune with who you are and what it is that you want for your own life and what matters to you. Good messages today. I love these too. We've got our achievement card, effort plus intention. And then we've got the potential card. What a positive message. No matter what little bumps and detours happen, when you want something, when you set an intention, when you set a goal, when you set something to manifest it, what is most important is your consistent focus and effort towards that. You cannot expect things to just kind of land in your lap. That just doesn't happen. At least not in the way that we're not intentionally focused on it happening. If you are uh you know, you want a new car, but you're blowing all your money, you're not making any efforts to put yourself in a position to get a new car, you're not going to end up with the kind of car that you desire. Because if you did end up, for example, with a new car, it's only going to be because your car ends up breaking down or damaged. I hope that makes sense. You want a better car. You don't want a similar car. You want an improved situation. You don't want the same situation. So you focus your mind in on the improvement and how it makes you feel. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I've accomplished something. There's a lot here that I can do to align myself with this potential increase in this elevation, in this progress. I'm just using the car for an example. For some of you, this is going to be a completely different situation. But for example, I was in a position where I was driving a car that was a great car. It got me from point A to point B for long enough. It did what it needed to do. But it was starting to have some problems. My focus was, I just need another car to accomplish this. Like, I don't need to be in a better position. I just need something to replace it. So I start manifesting. This is some years back. I start manifesting by picking another just basic vehicle. I don't care what it is. Just this will get me from point A to point B. This is going to do the job. But I wasn't sure how it was going to happen. And I wasn't really doing any action to put myself in alignment with a better car. I was just kind of like, it'll happen. It'll land in my lap, right? Well, it did, because I got broadsided. My car was toast. It literally totaled the car out. Now, with my mini torque from insurance, because it was kind of a crappy car, so I didn't have good insurance on it, I was able to secure another vehicle that was essentially the same level as the car that I had before. It didn't have the same problems. It got me from point A to point B, but it didn't quite elevate me to where I wanted to be. So I decided to hone in my manifestation technique. I decided, this time I'm going to step it up a notch. I need to be able to believe it. I need to know that I can accomplish this, but I'm going to step it up a notch. Now I'm going to pick a car that is better. I'm going to pick a car that is 10 years newer than the one that I have. That's a good jump, right? 10 years. That's definitely going to help. I want it to be these various features. I found a good example of that car online, used. I found used pictures. Found one that was very believable. Looked at that car. I was like, that's a nice car. You know what? That would make me happy. That would make me feel good. Going about life, I'm getting by. I still have this car that's doing the thing. But this time I'm thinking about, how am I going to get this car? I want to make sure that my insurance is up to date, that my finances are in order because I'm probably going to need a little bit of money to get this car. I'm going to take on extra work. If I can, I'm going to make as much money as I can. I'm going to try to get myself in this mind space of this new car. I'm getting ready for my new car. I'm getting ready for my new car. Lo and behold, an opportunity presents itself where I'm being asked for assistance with a family member's children, and he knows that my car is not in the greatest shape. It's barely pulling it off. And he says, I happen to come into an opportunity where I can purchase a vehicle for you for very affordable. And if you would be willing to help me with my children, I will buy this vehicle for you. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. That's exactly what I need. What kind of vehicle is it? And he sends me the picture, and I'm not kidding. It's the exact vehicle that I had pictures of manifesting, like the exact thing. I was so focused on improving my situation and taking on opportunities and doing what I need to. And it just landed in my lap. He saw what I was doing with my life. He saw me improving and trying to make things better. And he decided that he was going to do that for me. And in exchange, I was going to help him out. It worked out beautifully. Now, I did it again, and I now have a much nicer vehicle even from there because I did again, looked at the potential and the possibilities, stayed very focused on what it is I wanted, and kept myself in alignment with that goal. I kept doing things that made sense to accomplish that goal rather than just sitting there and going, I'll take whatever, because that didn't do me any good. I mean, it did. It got me from point A to point B again, but it wasn't what I was hoping for. This is about looking at an elevated version, step it up a notch, push yourself a little bit beyond. Do some things that like might not be fun in the moment, but in the future, you're going to be really glad you put yourself in that position. And when those opportunities show up and when these situations occur, make the choices that make the most sense. Think about the potential opportunity in front of you. Think about where you can be and how you can get yourself to the next level. When you stay focused and when you intentionally keep doing this, you're going to find your life progressing consistently. It pays off. It pays off in the long run. So, this is about making that next goal, making your next achievement, staying focused, very directly focused and intentional about what it is that you want. State the improvement. How is it better? How does it work out for you? How can you make it happen? And do not let go of that. Get a picture of it, think about it, write down the words to it, whatever it is that you need to do to stay very focused and honed in on your goal. And do not stop, do not doubt that goal until it happens. Then you can believe in yourself. And the next time you do it, you're going to get even better at it because then you really know it's possible. Then there's no doubt. Definitely a message out there for some folks who are just getting started in their manifesting. Tell me about what has worked out for you that you've been manifesting. Let me know about your past experiences. Let's see if we can hone you in on getting to that next level. Thank you so much for joining with me today. This has been a fun read, and I hope that it has added some insight to your life. I'm always grateful for you to join me on this journey.